Tony Stewart is a tough race car driver. You have to be to go from slinging dirt to 237 miles per hour at Indianapolis. But perhaps his most gutsy performance took place at the 2004 Sirius at the Glen NASCAR Cup Series race. And I'm just going to come out and say it. He won the race with crapped pants. Now hear me out. This may be the greatest victory of Tony Stewart's entire career. This is the story of the poop race. Now, a surprising amount of high-level athletes have had to deal with going number 2 in the heat of battle. There's a great video by 5 Points on this that you should definitely check out. But none are under the unique circumstances of auto racing. There are no timeouts in auto racing, and at this time in the NASCAR Cup Series, there weren't even guaranteed yellows. So if you lose control of your bowels, there's no real good way to stop until the checkered flag flies. Challenging conditions faced the NASCAR Cup Series teams as they had reduced track time due to rain. Qualifying itself had been rained out, and Tony would be rolling off the grid 4th. However, Tony had a little bit more track time than the rest of the field that weekend, as he had participated in a Grand Am Rolex sports car race on the Friday before the Cup Series race. As Tony climbed in his Home Depot Chevrolet, trouble was already brewing downstairs. This is what he had to say to TNT just before he went to race.
Tony Stewart has 2 road course victories, climbing in, hoping today to grab a 3rd. Tony, not a lot of track practice, but you have really come into your own as a road racer, and you finished 8th Friday night.
Yeah, not too bad. We had a little bit of trouble with a flat tire that stopped us on Friday, but we had a good week. The car was good and happy hour yesterday, just trying to make some changes to make it a little better, knowing that everybody else was going to make their cars a little better too.
Tony Stewart, big weekend already. His driver, Danny Lasowski, won the Knoxville Nationals last night in Iowa. Bill?
The green flag, the race is on, and Tony set off on a run. Lap 2, Stewart takes the lead from Jeff Gordon. And it's important to note that at this time in history, Jeff Gordon was perhaps the most prolific road racer in the NASCAR Cup Series. And he proved that on lap 14 as he retook the lead from Tony. A hard crash in turn 1, Sterling Marlin, with a lot of help from Greg Biffle. And while it has nothing to do with Tony Stewart's performance, I have to play this clip because Sterling lobbed one of the greatest insults NASCAR racing has ever heard at his assailant, Greg Biffle.
I got run over by a bug-eyed dummy, I guess.
On the restart, Stewart pursues Gordon and is closing in on him. But the trouble brewing downstairs is quickly becoming an emergency. And to a national TV audience, Dave Burns breaks the news.
And it is literally up with Tony. He's got stomach cramps going on right now. He wants to get out of that race car. Hates to even think about it running second. They're looking for one of the road course drivers that may not have gone home yet, specifically right now, Scott Pruitt. Scott, if you're out there, you might want to report to the 20 pit because they would like to put you in the car.
Wally, come back here, Wally, come back here.
And they did not mention Wally.
His eyes shot up in a heartbeat. Well, he's running second. Hard to get out of a race car performing that well.
Yeah.
He must really be feeling unpleasant.
Given the circumstance, I think unpleasant is an understatement. Despite this, Tony retakes the lead from Gordon on lap 25 and begins to pull away. Stewart pits from the lead for the first time today, and Dave Burns gives us the second report. Things are getting much worse.
Tony Stewart stays in the car. They will try to hand something through the window to help settle his stomach. They'll make a 4-tire change and a chassis adjustment. He's just a little bit loose on the racetrack, and he's going to gut it out.
Imagine the incredible discomfort Tony Stewart must have been in to be screaming for a replacement driver while leading a race. The competitor's spirit was being overridden by the urge to find a porta-john. and it appeared that a replacement driver had been found as a wild Boris Said appeared in the Home Depot pit.
Guys, we're talking with Boris Said right now. He did not get in the car that time. I want to repeat what you and I just spoke about. If you got in the car, can you race it at 100%?
Probably not at 100% because I'm a little taller than Tony, and I got in this backup car, and I can fit in it. It's just the steering wheel's kind of pressed against my legs, so I could probably drive 80%. Just sure that'll help him out. I hear his legs are cramped up pretty bad, and I've tried to race with cramped up legs, and it's not a good thing. So hopefully he can go the whole way, but I'll stand by and hopes I get to drive. But I don't like doing it under these circumstances. But hopefully he'll go the whole way. He's a great guy. He's pretty tough. If not, I'm ready to go.
The last word from Tony was, guys, we need to do this, even if he can only get in for a short period of time.
A short period of time. Keep that quote in mind. Tony was only willing to get out of that car for a small personal pit stop, and he needed it badly. Tony had dropped to the midfield through the pit stop shuffle, but despite intense discomfort, began to carve his way back to the front. In just over 10 laps, Tony went from 13th to challenging Robbie Gordon for the lead and passing him. Tony was back in command of the race. Now, around this time in the race, it happened. We'll probably never know exactly when, but I'd like to believe it happened just as Tony swung around Robbie Gordon to take the lead of the race. The most triumphant crap in NASCAR history was taken inside of the number 20 Chevrolet. And as confirmation, on lap 57, Stewart pitted for the final time in the race, and apparently was feeling relief for the first time all day, as reported by Dave Burns.
He said, I didn't want any changes on the car. The car is coming to me. And as we found out, Tony's health is coming to him as well. He feels better. He feels like he can stay in it and win this race. A 4-tire change, no adjustments to the chassis.
Well, at least purely physically, Tony Stewart was relieved. Just for a second, realize how hot a stock car gets in the middle of a race, during the summertime especially, when the Watkins Glen race traditionally happens. Drivers can lose as many as 5 pounds in sweat during a race, and then realize what tends to happen when bad smells get heat applied to them, particularly heat over 100 degrees. And Tony Stewart still had over 30 laps to endure. Stinky cockpit and all, Tony Stewart continued to lead the race, but with just 15 laps to go, a new challenger appeared, Ron Fellows. The Canadian driver is widely regarded as one of the greatest road course ringers in NASCAR history, and Fellows was not going to take it easy on Tony, as he had never scored a NASCAR win, and Stewart certainly had at that point. Despite hounding Stewart for the final 15 laps of the race, not even Ron Fellows was going to deny Tony on this day. A day in which he finished number 2 in his pants, but number 1 on the track. Tony Stewart wins the 2004 Sirius at the Glen. In one of the most gutsy performances of his career, Stewart led over half of the race and fended off some of the greatest NASCAR road racers ever, Jeff Gordon, Robbie Gordon, and Ron Fellows. Now, of course, we need to watch the post-race ceremonies with the added context of Tony's predicament. It's quite humorous.
Stewart driving directly into victory lane, and Chevy congratulates Tony in the number 20 Monte Carlo on today's Watkins Glen win. No cars dominated Cup racing like the defending manufacturer's champion Chevrolet and American Revolution. Bill Weber's in victory lane with the winner.
And Tony Stewart pulled directly in here and now is going to climb out of the car. Still has part of his head and neck restraint device on. Has admitted on the radio after the race he does not feel very well, does not plan to stay here in victory lane very long, but is still trying to untie himself from the car, and then he will climb out. So an amazing run for Tony Stewart here today, who, as Benny and Wally and Alan talked about, wanted to get out of the car because he wasn't feeling well, but he made it to the end, and now he does get out of the car as the winner at Watkins Glen. And Tony is going to walk directly to his motor coach. We're going to try and catch up to him here. And walk with him, not feeling well at all. and they've got a cart for him here. You gonna be okay?
Yeah, we'll be right back.
All right, congratulations. He had said on the radio that when he got to victory lane, he was going to his motor coach for a good 10 minutes. Obviously not feeling well at all. And back here, followed Tony Stewart back here. You saw him get on the golf cart. They drove him back here. He is inside his motor coach. They're bringing him a fresh fire suit, a driving suit for him to change into, but I'm told by his camp that he is not feeling very well at all, and it could be quite a while before he comes out of that motor coach. So a gutsy effort for Tony Stewart today, able to get his second win here at Watkins Glen, his third road course victory, but right now not anywhere near in condition to celebrate it, feeling very ill inside his motor coach behind us. So Alan, that's the story from down here. Congratulations to him, but the celebration may come tomorrow.
And that was it. One of the most awkward victory lanes of all time. Everyone socially distancing before it was cool, far away from the open window of Tony's wrecked race car, or at least the inside was wrecked. So what do you think? Is this Tony's greatest performance in his career? I can't even imagine how excruciating that was, not only before the crapping of the pants, but certainly afterwards when you have to deal with the smell and the heat. Oh my goodness. How Tony Stewart won this race, I have no idea. One of the greatest race car drivers of our generation, and certainly one of the toughest, no doubt about it. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Is this the toughest performance of all time? Are there tougher ones? Again, it's going to be quite an interesting discussion, I think, down in the comments section below. Stay tuned for more NASCAR coverage this week. It's a big week with the Daytona 500. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want me to do more, and we'll see you in the next video.